What would you do if I told you that this year we're hosting one of the largest fantasy football tournaments there is in this industry, and it's going to include you, the viewer, and it's free? You may want to start mock drafting starting right now.
Yeah. Analytics off the chain, other channels not the same. Jake and Kyle, you know the name. Headliner Nation, we running the game. I'm a headliner.
What is going on, Headliner Nation? Jake, Fantasy Headliners. Hopefully everybody's doing well out there today. We're going to be mock drafting. I need to keep on practicing because I'll tell you why. Like I said in the opening, we have one of the largest fantasy football tournaments in this entire industry headed to you this year, and it's going to be free to join. Yeah, not too many people offering opportunities like this because there's going to be some pretty sweet prizes for the overall champions. I'm talking about we could have over 500 teams in this tournament. Going to be a redraft tournament, and you got to make sure you're signed up and good to go. How do you do that? Well, thank you for asking. Head over to fantrax.com/headliners. There's a link down below in the description. Sign up for a free account on Fantrax. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. Use the promo code Headliners when you do so, and be ready for us to send out links. It's going to be happening here pretty soon. And when I start dropping links to join this tournament, you're going to want to make sure that you have your account already set up so that you know you're in and able to compete this year in this tournament. But here's what's awesome about it. Not only are you going to be ready to enter this tournament, by setting up that free account on Fantrax, it's going to make sure you're also ready to mock draft with us here this offseason. In this draft here today, I went through yesterday, dropped a link to our members only on the community tab, and this mock draft filled in seconds. So make sure, sign up for this free account on Fantrax. Make sure you're good to go at a moment's notice. And if you want to start mock drafting with us, become a member. It's the blue join button just below the video here, and it's going to give you plenty of opportunities to mock draft. We'll be doing this every single week, randomly throughout the day and night, so try to give everybody an opportunity, but we had a lot of fun. And I'm going to preface it with this. There's a lot of nuggets in this mock draft. I hate how they take a little bit longer, but I didn't want to just sit there and talk for an hour by myself. So what did I do? What every normal man should do. Invite the doc. All right, Doc, I said I didn't want to draft alone, so when I need somebody and Kyle's not available, the doc is in the house for a mock draft. Have you done a mock draft with us before, Doc?
I don't think I have, actually.
I don't think you have. I mean, I think you may have been in a mock, but not actually on video.
I mean, I have mocked drafts of yours.
You mock a lot of things. You mock everything.
It's true.
It's true. Well, here we go. We're gonna try to see what happens here. We got you in here. We got our man behind the scenes, Tay. Taylor's in the house, and then we have 9 other members here that are gonna help us complete this mock draft. So here we go. It's gonna start off, and it's probably gonna be hot and heavy. Where are you picking, Doc? Where are you picking?
I'm at the 108 right now.
Oh, that's a horrible spot.
It is a horrible spot, especially in this type of form.
So I'm on the clock already. Jonathan Taylor and Derrick Henry are off the board. That's not a surprise. So you, being a Homer Steelers fan, would probably go Najee, but nope, not me. Because this is a PPR draft, I'm going with Austin Eckler at the 103.
I think that's a pretty solid pick there.
It's PPR, honestly, right? So
if PPR, I'd have probably taken him before Henry if it was me.
Hoff Daddy, though. Hoff Daddy at 2. He wants that safe stability. He wants 7 million touches, and that's why he just took Derrick Henry regardless.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, there's not really a bad pick in this first 7 or 8 that I've seen so far. I mean, it's kind of the names you're expecting. A lot of running backs going to go off the board here.
Well, it's one spot before you. We got Taylor, Henry, Eckler, Najee, Cook, and Mixon. We expect heavy running backs early in this draft because these are all of our listeners and followers, and we always talk about running backs early. So let's see who they leave you, because you're going to have probably your choice at a lot of stud wide receivers here in a second, but I don't know if you got the cojones to not grab a running back. Not saying, just saying.
Yeah, I mean, there's no good. I don't think
take Christian McCaffrey.
I mean, personally, I know who I'm going with here, but just to elaborate here, I just don't think there's any reason to go wide receiver this early. Running backs are going to fly off the board in every format this year, like they have. I mean, I've seen lots of people saying take 3 or 4 running backs right off the start. So I'm going to take who I think has the highest upside here, and make this pick right quick. And I'm going to go with McCaffrey.
Right pick. That was the right pick.
I'm still on McCaffrey. I know that, the injuries the last couple of years have turned people off of him, but to me, I mean, there's so much upside there. I mean, we're talking RB1 upside, especially in a PPR league. Anytime he has played in the last 2 years, it's been 20 plus PPR points. And there's just not that many dudes that are going to give you that kind of upside week to week, especially not at the 8 spot.
I exactly. And that's the whole thing, is especially with running backs going as heavy as they are here at the beginning. I mean, if you don't take one right there, you're kind of sacrificing what potentially your RB2 could be, because by the time it comes all the way back around to you, you're like, you're hoping that somebody is left in a league like this. So had our first 2 wide receivers come off at Cup and Chase at 9 and 10. You have a problem with that? Given what was left at the time, the next best running back was Javonte Williams.
I mean, next on the board, I wouldn't say he's my next best running back, but
me neither. Aaron Jones would have been my next.
I'd have probably went with Mixon there. Jones.
Look at Uncle Lenny. Look at Uncle Lenny sliding into the 12 spot.
That's a little rich for me. He's looking a little chunky right now.
Ooh, and then he backed it up with Aaron Jones. Now I got a stiffy.
Oh, gosh. What have I got myself in?
I mean, dude, Leonard Fournette, Aaron Jones. Okay, so yeah, Fournette, he's a little chunky. You and I can relate, right? I mean,
we can all, everybody's a little chunky at the start.
We are allowed to call people chunky because we ourselves are chunky.
Yeah.
So he's got plenty of time to slim down. I mean, he's got months to go in the hot Tampa weather, and now no Gronk. I like some Uncle Lenny.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Leonard Fournette's going to be a real solid pick. 112, I mean, that just shows you kind of where running backs are going this year. If anything, it just tells me that I made the right choice by, going running back in the first round, because
but are you going to make the right choice
pretty
now?
Thin here, especially when it comes back around.
Are you going to make the right choice now? Because we had Devontae Adams, James Conner, and Travis Kelce come off the board as well.
Yeah, this is a tough spot here. I don't love some of the running backs that are left. I am not going to take Cam Akers. I refuse. Don't even ask me to. He's not even really on my board this year.
You better hurry.
I'm going to go with another guy I don't love here,
okay.
But I'm going to take him because of that upside pick again, DeAndre Swift. I mean, he's going to have a chance to catch quite a few passes in a not very great offense. And in a PPR league, I feel like this is a good spot for him.
I feel like you're taking this draft pretty seriously.
Here's the thing. I want to win, even in fake drafts. I want my team at the end to not be the worst team. That's all I'm after here.
Okay. Well, here's what's cool. This is what's awesome about Fantrax. You want to know what they do with these mock drafts after you're done? They leave them open as leagues so you can just see how your team would have finished at the end of the year.
I love that.
I think that's pretty cool.
That is nice.
That's pretty cool.
Should go
so there we had Javonte Williams go at the 2-6. So the man himself went with Chubb and Javonte Williams. Oh, man, the running back's just flying. Now Dobbins off the board in the mid-second round. This is borderline where you have to make one of those decisions where people start to fall a little bit and you're just like, all right, I'll do it.
Well, we're out of sexy picks now. I mean, we're in terms of running backs, at least. I mean,
sexiness is gone. Yes.
The sexiness is gone. You can risk it with Alvin Kamara. He's probably going to get suspended.
Right. Not liking that.
Cam Akers, anybody in this draft would know that you don't really want to go with Cam Akers in a draft with me because I'm for sure not going to take him. So might as well wait for him to fall.
Take him, Taylor. Come on, Taylor.
I just, Saquon Barkley, he's been injured. Antonio Gibson's got a lot going on. I mean,
there goes Kamara. So here I am with Eckler. And Debo, Tyreek Hill sitting at the top of the board here. Honestly, I am okay with Saquon Barkley or Ezekiel Elliott being my number 2. But do I risk passing them right now in hopes that they come back after these 4 picks? That's my biggest question, because I love some wide receivers. So I'm going to take a gamble here, Doc. I am going to gamble, and I'm going with Saquon Barkley. Do I love Saquon? No. But this is going to be one of the risks that I take a little bit early just to see how things play out, because now there's a couple wide receivers. Heck, maybe I could even get Zeke Elliott as my flex play, and I wouldn't hate that either.
Yeah, I think that Barkley gives you a lot more flexibility in the third. If you go with him there, you can go after maybe a top tight end. You could maybe go after wide receiver there. Now that you've got running back 1 and 2 set. The other thing is just strategy wise, that most likely on this 2-3 turn, they're going to go some combination of running back, or running back, wide receiver. Almost everybody
Zeke.
does.
Yep.
And so
I love that start by the Keebler Elf, by the way. Can I just say that Jonathan Taylor, Ezekiel Elliott is a fine way to start?
Yeah. I mean, especially in a PPR, I even like that Keenan Allen pick. It's a little early for me, but I'd have maybe gone with somebody else, but I'll keep that to myself.
The fact that I'm on the clock and this player is still available, you can't see it. The people at home can see it. I am loving that my wide receiver 1 is in the 3rd round here, and that I can grab Mike Evans, because I love me some Mike Evans this year. With Godwin not 100% and no Gronk, Mike Evans is he's going to feast. And now I get him in the 3rd round. Barkley's a little bit of a risk, but like I said earlier, I'm going to take that risk with Barkley and surround him by some solid, safer guys that still have super high floors and high ceilings, and hope that Barkley can pop off. And if he does, your boy holding the trophy.
Yeah, and I think the thing with Evans is that there's almost no risk. He's so consistent year after year.
Yep.
I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer. He's almost never hurt. If he is, it's very minimal.
Do you think I was crazy for going Evans over Tyreek Hill?
I don't have a good answer for you there.
What do I pay you for? I thought I'd pay you for good answers.
To me, I still like Tyreek Hill. So I won't say that, personally, I probably still have Tyreek Hill over Mike Evans. But I think if you're looking for week-to-week consistency, Mike Evans is easily the safer pick. We don't really know what Tyreek Hill's new ceiling is with Tua. I was a little surprised to see Jalen Waddle going before Tyreek Hill in this mock, because to me, I still think Tyreek Hill is going to be the wide receiver 1 in that offense.
Do you think it's weird that Elijah Mitchell came off before Cam Akers?
Not with the group that we have, knowing that most of these guys follow us. No, I don't hate it. Honestly, I'm kind of I kind of love it. Not going to lie.
You kind of love it. I mean,
I kind of love it.
I hope you're right, because I have done nothing but ride your coattails on Cam Akers, because you sold me so well when you put together. It was like a dissertation, Doc. When we were on the. Oh, what happened?
I was really looking at ETN there.
You got sniped.
I did. That hurts me bad.
The man himself, Isaiah, just said, piss on it. I'm going Chubb, Williams, ETN right now.
That hurts me bad.
Now you got to take Cam Akers.
No.
Okay.
I refuse. Gosh.
There's some good wide receivers in there. Not saying, just saying. CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah.
That was probably the smart pick, Doc.
Yeah, I think CeeDee Lamb has some pretty huge weeks in him this year. No Amari Cooper.
And Gallup's not 100% either.
And I don't think people are talking enough about CeeDee Lamb was not a bad wide receiver. Gallup's coming off a very quick turnaround ACL tear most of the time. I mean, there's a chance he starts out on the pup. I mean, there's a good chance CeeDee Lamb is seeing huge target numbers, and to get him here at 308, I'm feeling pretty good about it.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's the 11th wide receiver off the board. I don't hate that whatsoever. It would not surprise me if end of year CeeDee Lamb's not a top 7-ish wide receiver. I mean, because he should just be fed with volume. So I don't hate it. Best one available. I would much rather have CeeDee Lamb over the likes of what else was there with A.J. Brown or T. Higgins or even Deontay Johnson. I was glad you didn't do the homer pick of Deontay Johnson.
Yeah, I just don't really trust what's going on with Deontay Johnson in Pittsburgh right now. I know that he would be the homer pick, and I do think he's going to get a lot of targets.
How do we know, though?
I mean, he's always been a target hog. So I think just in general.
You think it's Pickett or Mitchie Biscuits?
I think it's going to be I'm not convinced that Pickett is better than Mitchell Trubisky.
I'm not either.
And so I feel like Trubisky is going to win just on he's a professional already, if that makes any sense. He's already there he knows how to go through. He knows how to be the backup now. So I think he's motivated to kind of win the starting job. And I think he's seen he has gone through the growing pains that I think Kenny Pickett at some point is going to have to go through.
I hear you.
So give me the guy that's already been through it.
Now, what about Buddy 760 here in the 11 hole saying, you know what? Y'all take the running backs. I ain't going to take one. And now he's got Justin Jefferson, Travis Kelce, and Deontay Johnson on the clock right now. Best available running back on the board would be Breece Hall.
A rookie.
Oh, he took Damian Harris. Damn you, buddy. I was so going to take Damian Harris in this round. 100% committed to it. I was going to take him. And
how do you feel about Damian Harris being his RB1?
That terrifies me. I don't like that.
I mean, he's got great wide receivers, but Kelce's probably going to be the tight end one again. I mean, he's got full-blown binky status. I do think that was one of those picks that when you're watching the draft, so I'm in the 8th spot here and I'm looking at kind of how those first 2 rounds went. And what I'm seeing is that a lot of wide receivers, pass catchers coming off. So more than likely, looking back at this, I got a lot of picks coming up, and I know that the guys coming up next on this next round, they're going to be looking for those cheap running backs, the cheaper running backs. So what I'm going to do here is strategize a little bit.
Whoa.
I'm going to take Breece Hall because I want as much flexibility going forward with my picks from a team building perspective, knowing that everyone behind me is going to be double picking and looking at all these cheaper running backs. I don't want to have to get into a bidding war of who's going to take the running back way above where they need to go.
And scrolling through the running backs as I just did, as you were talking, not a whole lot left.
No,
Ethan, not a lot there. I mean, we're getting to the point where we're looking at handcuffs and some high upside role players. One of them just coming off the board in A.J. Dillon. So, we have 3 straight teams here that already have 3 running backs from the 6, 7, and 8 hole. They drafted 3 of their first 4 picks were running backs. That's a lot of running backs, but I don't hate it.
I mean, I feel like this is where we have to go, though. I mean, and this shows everybody watching just how important it is. Even if you feel like you're getting great value at wide receiver, you're going to watch these teams that went wide receiver early get absolutely crushed at running back. And you're leaving a lot of points on the board if you don't flow with where these drafts are going, which is really RB heavy first. Because those running backs, after you get, I mean, to me, the teardrop was at Travis Etienne, which is why I was kind of bummed because I was going to go 3 RBs and then just coast with wide receivers and tight ends and quarterbacks. But, this is one of those situations where if you don't go with the flow, you could find yourself digging yourself out of a hole right away.
Yeah. And some issues here for me, not a lot of options at the running back position unless I'm going to reach a little bit. Don't like to reach too much. I have a risk already with Saquon. I could risk it with DK. I'm not an early quarterback guy. Kittle, I think, could have some serious upside here this year. DJ Moore, not huge on. So many other wide receivers. I'm going to be a little contrarian here for what I normally do, and I'm going to go with a tight end and take George Kittle.
I actually really like that. If you're going to go tight end, you have to try to get one of the top 3 or 4 guys.
Yeah, and at the end of the 4th, I don't hate it as much.
No, because you're already set at running back. You've got your wide receiver one. You're going to be able to fill in those wide receiver spots pretty easy. Take some flyers on running backs later. And I think we might see a little tight end run here.
And if that's the case, I started the run of tight ends and hope that somebody can come back to me here as my running back 3 flex type spot. I'm hoping, because they can't hear me, I'm going to say it. I'm hoping that Cordero Patterson maybe is that guy. I wouldn't be opposed, Ethan. It's super early, but in a draft like this, I'm not opposed to Rashad Penny as my number 3.
Yeah, I don't hate that. I do think that Kenneth Walker is going to take some touches away.
I do too. It was between, really, for me, Tony Pollard, Rashad Penny, or Cordero Patterson. Those are the 3 that I'm really thinking about. Because I got to get one of them, because by the time it comes back, it's not going to be anything left. So
yeah.
As of today, which I know this can change, Rashad Penny is a huge, huge risk. But I'm going to risk it for the biscuit. And I'm going to go Rashad Penny as my number 3. In my opinion, my running backs scare me a little bit. There's a lot of risk there. I mean, with
there's
Barkley
a lot of
and
risk
Penny.
there. A lot of risk there.
But if they're healthy,
a lot of reward.
A lot of reward.
Yeah,
so we'll see.
I do think the one thing with the way you've set yourself up is, I mean, Rashad Penny as your RB3 is a great risk. Rashad Penny as your RB2, it gets
Huge
a little
risk.
dicey for me, which is why you got to go with these, running backs early. Once again, I mean, you're looking at Cordero Patterson, Rashad Penny. Those are 5th round picks this year. And so if you go wide receiver early, that's kind of what you're hoping falls back to you.
They should be like 8th round picks.
They should, because there's going to be plenty of wide receivers that are, excellent picks here. I mean, we still got wide receiver 1s for multiple teams.
What do we got? DK Metcalf still sitting there. Amari Cooper, kind of scary. Amon-Ra, Mike Williams, Chris Godwin, Hollywood Brown, Elijah Moore, Renfro, Full Mooney, Jerry Jeudy, Michael Thomas, Gabe Davis. There goes DK Metcalf. There's some names
going
on here.
down.
I'm not going to say them because you'll take them because you're actually having an opportunity to take them beforehand. So I'm not going to say the names that I'm looking at for wide receivers.
I see how you're going to be.
I can say it when it's going the other direction, but right now, absolutely not, because I can see you out of spite just taking somebody that I name.
Well, here's the thing, and I've got 3 running backs here, but I'm not opposed to. I'm still looking to see if there's anything I really love left on the board here. I'm not looking through this list, seeing anybody that I'm really like, man, reaching in the 5th. There's not really anybody that I see that I'm like,
what's great about
I got to
it
get
is
a hold of that guy.
We have no kickers and no defense, so we have 3 flex spots. So, I mean, there's really no issues with just slamming running backs like people are doing.
Yeah, but we're kind of out of the range where the high-end pass-catching running backs are kind of all gone.
Yes.
I
will tell you this, though. If for whatever reason it comes back to me and Josh Allen is still sitting there, I will take him in the 6th. I'm just saying that. I won't let it. I'm not an early quarterback guy, but at this point, 6th round, all right, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, the quarterbacks are sitting there, and there's some high-quality ones. Basically everybody's on the board. So,
yes.
Even in a 1 QB league, it's not the worst thing in the world to grab one of the top guys. They're still going to make a difference for scoring you points. And you've set yourself up with those 2 running backs to start. You've got your wide receiver. You got your tight end. You can kind of build the wide receiver position out with 5 or 6 guys in the second half of this draft. You can't do that with quarterback. You can't do it with tight end, and you can't do it with running back.
Well, it's not going to happen because Peasy just took Josh Allen.
Yeah, I'm not convinced he's not listening to us.
This is not an open channel. You and I are the only person in this Zoom meeting, Ethan.
That's good, because
I didn't even realize you took Darnell Mooney.
I did.
You were straight talking. I didn't even realize you were on the clock at one point.
I went full Mooney. I think he's going to have a ton of targets. A ton. He had 140 last year. He could go 160 this year.
Yep.
And so sign me up for that. I mean, especially as my wide receiver 2.
Yeah.
That's just cheap money right there. I mean, one of the more underrated wide receiver ones in the league, in my opinion.
One of my wide receivers just got taken. I was totally hoping Allen Robinson would make it back. That did not happen.
How do you feel about? I'm not a huge proponent of taking the second best wide receiver on a team.
I think there's exceptions.
I think there's a few, but I don't know if
Mike
Robinson
Williams
is one of them.
You know, I mean, do I love it? I don't want him to be like my number one, but you know, there's certain teams out there that I really feel warrant that, hey, they're going to have multiple weapons here that I can take a stab on. I'm hoping that I can blow your mind in the 6th round. I got him queued up. The people at home can see who I'm talking about. You cannot. And if he makes it to me, I will pull said trigger. That was not him. It was not Darren Waller. So now let's look at these teams here real quick. Peasy, 2 quarterbacks, 2 running backs, a quarterback and a tight end. Dude's going the balanced approach. Crusher's got 4 wide receivers now and 2 running backs. Everybody else over here, we got what? 3 running backs, 3 running backs, 2 wide receivers, and a tight end in the 11-12 spot. Mr. Turner is on the clock here. Doc's got 3 running backs, 2 wide receivers, and Lamar Jackson. Got to admit, I was not expecting that. I don't hate it, but I was not expecting
an early quarterback guy. But they're going back to a run-heavy offense. Lamar Jackson is a cheat code in fantasy when he's running a ton. And so, you know, if you look at their running back core, you got 2 guys coming off of ACL tears, a 7th-round pick, and Mike Davis. When they say they're moving to a running offense, that means Lamar Jackson's running.
Yep. I'm kind of hoping you started a quarterback run here. People may not like where I'm going to go with my next pick, and that's okay.
You're talking, and I already don't like it.
I mean,
I don't even know where you're going to go, but
there's going to be some people like, why did you do that? You know, I don't understand that. And
it doesn't make any sense.
That's
okay.
Is it a
homer pick?
Huh?
Is it a homer pick?
I'm not telling you what it is.
It's a homer pick.
No, I mean,
if you take Zach Ertz in the 6th round,
okay,
Jake, we'll
dude,
quit right now.
I already have George Kittle first off. Okay.
You said it was crazy.
I said some people may think it's crazy. Some people may think that it's crazy. Because I'm telling you right now that I'm going to draft a bench player.
Ooh, a bench player. What?
I'm going to draft a bench player right now.
He's ready. Bench player. Ready. Let's go. Who's he going with? It was a homer pick. I knew it.
I mean, it was, but not just because it's a homer. But now you think about it.
But it is.
After week 6, I have Mike Evans and DeAndre Hopkins as my 2 wide receivers.
Okay.
I mean, I don't hate that. I hate that I have to wait 6 weeks, but there's so much depth at wide receiver right here that I can go heavy wide receiver for a few rounds and get plenty of guys to fill in a spot for 6 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, I see what you mean. And Hopkins is an alpha, so I don't hate that. I do worry just because statistically, guys who come off of large suspensions rarely perform at a level that justifies where you probably still have to pick them.
Right.
And so just long-term thinking here, I am a little concerned at just like the history isn't on your side with that pick.
Don't you dare talk badly about my pick.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay. I'm sorry.
All right. Well, Tony Pollard was a name that I was thinking of. Here, I'm also thinking about the likes of maybe like a Rashad Bateman. I'm thinking about a Gabriel Davis and Adam Thielen to be a safer option for at least the first 6 weeks to get me through. I think they're the safer option. It's kind of crazy that it's the 7th round and I'm staring at Patrick Mahomes and Kyler Murray still sitting there, though. So that kind of makes me scratch my head a little bit. But so many people have already taken quarterback, they're not going to take another one. So I got plenty of time to wait there. I'm probably going to go here, and I'm going to get, hopefully, a reliable veteran in a more high-powered offense right now and go with Adam Thielen to kind of give me my second starter.
Ooh, I like that.
Because he's going to get hurt, but I only need him to last 6 weeks.
Whoa. There's no guarantee he's going to get hurt.
Do you know that Adam Thielen is among the league leaders in red zone targets every single year, despite being hurt all the time?
He's not hurt all the time, Jake.
dude misses games.
You
I can't
need
Google
to
it right now.
buy
My
our
screen's
draft
being-
guide and read my section
Okay,
in it.
I didn't say he was injury prone. I never
If you
said
think
that.
that Adam Thielen is injury prone, then
No.
you think everyone in the league is injury prone.
Yeah, no, I don't
He had
think that whatsoever.
injury, one injury,
Injury?
a single injury last year.
But for 3 straight years, he's missed games.
Just because you've missed games for 3 years doesn't mean that they were all serious injuries.
100%, and that's why I still like Adam Thielen.
I'll be honest, I'm a little sad here at this little tight end run that just happened.
Why?
Because those were my last 2 guys kind of in my tier.
You were looking for a tight end, the football kind?
I really wasn't, but I was, if they were available, that was kind of the end of the tier for me. And so I would have considered it just so I could lock down the position. And now I don't even have to consider it, which is pretty sweet.
Well, all right then. So you went, oh, no, that's not you.
That's not me. Calm down, Jay.
I thought it was you. I thought you went with Amon Ra.
I did go wide receiver.
Elijah Moore? I don't hate Elijah Moore at all this year.
I mean, I'm looking at Elijah Moore as my wide receiver 3. Again, still chasing targets here. This is the dink and dunk target catching machine that I'm after.
You are definitely trying to corner the target market.
I'm trying to get all the targets.
All them targets.
Give me all the targets.
Okay, so I know I can't get Kenneth Walker. He's gone. Saquon Barkley's backup really isn't worth drafting right now. Austin Eckler, Isaiah Spiller are still sitting there. I'm not going to take Isaiah Spiller this early at all, but the way that running backs go, I mean, he's not going to last much longer either. So not a lot left there at the running back position. Couple guys I'm kind of looking at. I still don't have a quarterback.
Yeah.
But there's still a lot of quarterbacks out there that I like. I like it a lot.
Yeah, a couple quarterbacks off the board there, though. Mahomes and Murray. I think that's good value for Murray there,
That's great
especially
value.
with where some of the other quarterbacks went. I mean, a full round later, 2 rounds later than Josh Allen. I think that Kyler Murray easily could score as many or more points than Josh Allen this year.
Only 3 more teams before me need a quarterback, which means someone of Jalen Hurts, Russell Wilson, Matthew Stafford, Tom Brady are going to be sitting there for me, or Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers I'm probably not going to deal with this year. But Hurts, Wilson, Stafford, or Brady, I would take one of those guys. And if more of them are available, I'll pass on them in the 8th and take them in the 9th.
Yeah, you're in a good spot to just kind of wait on quarterback, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
at this point, all the real high-end ones are gone. You can be real patient with it, which is always nice.
Who has the best team so far, and why is it my team?
Well, it's not your team. I can guarantee you that.
I felt like it was.
I'm gonna go a little contrarian here, Jake. I'm just gonna keep doubling down on this, and this is just me staying with the brand here. But I think Darrell Henderson outscores Cam Akers next year,
I don't hate that.
and so getting him here, I think that he could easily start at the beginning of the year, give Breece Hall a little bit of time. You know, I'm still set at wide receiver, and honestly, I'm okay with waiting on wide receivers because running back gets so thin in the middle of these drafts. I mean, you're almost out of guys that you can even say are decent backups. So to get a guy with the upside of Henderson, what if Cam Akers just isn't the same?
Yep.
I mean, if he's just not the same, we saw Darrell Henderson. He's in a high-powered offense. He can catch passes. He scored fantasy points last year every time that Cam Akers was out. So I like Henderson here as an RB4.
I'm going to ask you a question about a player before it's my pick.
Yeah.
Because everybody knows that I have been say no to Rojo since the start of this channel 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Actually, it wasn't all 6 years.
You should take him.
Honestly, I don't hate Ronald Jones this year.
You should.
Well, here's the
He's
thing.
not good at football.
Here's the thing I hate. I hate that I would have to take him this early. Like, that part of me, I do not want to do.
It's the 8th round.
Right.
mean,
But I'm saying, but later on.
That is early.
If you could get him double-digit rounds, I don't hate it. Because we've seen CEH kind of get banged up and struggle to produce in that offense. So who's to say that maybe Ronald Jones doesn't get a little bit of run?
Yeah, and here's where I think we're going to start to see pretty much every running back going forward. There's a couple left that are decent.
Whew. Man, I was a little worried, Ethan. I'm going to take my running back 4 here.
I already know where you're going with this.
Okay, I have him on my screen so the people can see it. Guess who it's going to be?
It's one of Alexander Madison or Melvin Gordon.
Okay. It's Melvin Gordon.
Yeah, that's kind of who I was eyeballing as one of the last guys that was left that I think still has a very set in stone.
Yep. Not a super high ceiling, but a pretty safe floor if I needed to. I mean, I guess his ceiling's pretty high, but it's not going to be consistently high. There's going to be some big games surrounded by some duds, but I don't hate that whatsoever.
I mean, here's the thing, though. If you're throwing him into a flex, you can kind of play him matchup-wise wherever you want. And he's a solid backup to, your RB1, RB2 spot week to week. I mean, he does have 2 touchdown potential pretty much every week that he plays. So, I think that's a great pick there. I also really like this Brandon Ayuk value here in the 8th. Hoff Daddy 110. I can't say I love his entire draft, but he's put together a pretty solid team.
Can we say who has the worst team so far? If you had to look at it top to bottom and really just...
I mean, I'll be honest. I don't love what Crusher's doing right now. It's not my go-to. I don't trust James Conner as my RB1. I don't trust Josh Jacobs as my RB2. You've got Cooper Kupp. It's hard to go wrong there, but I mean,
okay, so now being it's the 9th round, I'm probably going to take my quarterback. I have my picks of Jalen Hurts, Matthew Stafford, and Tom Brady. If I had to say the high upside, I mean, I think Tom Brady and
you don't
Matthew
want Aaron
Stafford,
Rodgers here?
No, I don't want Aaron Rodgers this year.
All right, well, you do you.
I mean, now if these other guys were gone, then I wouldn't have a choice. But I don't want Aaron Rodgers over one of these guys.
Okay, I was just making sure you saw.
Yeah, he's there. I'm gonna go with Matthew Stafford. He's got Cooper Kupp. He's got Allen Robinson. He's got plenty of weapons. And we've talked about Cam Akers potentially being injured at times, which means maybe we rely a little bit more on this high-powered passing offense. Matthew Stafford is a guy that can go out there and put up 5,000 yards and 40 touchdowns. So I'll take him in the 9th. Do you hate that?
No, I think that's a good solid pick.
You sat there in complete silence.
You're pretty much locking yourself into a QB1.
Yes.
I'm not saying he has the highest upside. That would have probably been Hurts.
Yes, I agree with the rushing upside there, but I think he's a little bit more vulnerable and needs the rushing upside to get you the big points. Where I think Matthew Stafford, I can pretty much just pencil him in for 20 a week.
Yeah, and I think you're totally on with that.
He may not get the 40s.
Oh, he can still get you 40.
He can, but I'm just saying he's an easy 20 a week. Treylon Burks going here in the 9th. James Robinson in the 9th. What do you think about that?
You should read the draft guide. I'm not on James Robinson. Insert argument for Cam Akers here.
Okay, so what about Bolts from Blue? Just went with Tyler Algier at the 9-6. That just shows how weak the wide receiver position is depth-wise right now. But are you buying the hype that Algier could be the guy in Atlanta? Or you think it's still going to be a mixture of him and Patterson? And isn't Damian Williams there or somebody too?
Sorry, I'm picking, Jake. Let me think for a second.
Oh, gosh, sorry. Robert Woods just came off the board.
Let a guy think.
I mean, you got to think of something because your team is horrendous.
Unacceptable, Jake.
Oh, man,
I'm about to crush this league.
You just got worse.
What? You don't like Chris Olave?
Oh, I do.
How can you not like Chris Olave? Okay,
I do.
Here's the thing: Michael Thomas may not play for them again. You got crab legs Winston coming back. He's ready to sling it.
Yep.
More fantasy points per drop back than any other quarterback in the league last year in only 8 games, but still. Sign me up for that.
Yeah?
Yeah, sign me up for that, Jake.
Okay.
Sign your boy up for this. Okay. And here's where I think this is where you see you go wide receiver early, and now you're looking at your RB3, Marlon Mack as your RB3. Yuck. RB4 and 5, Ramondre Stevenson, Rojo. Yuck.
That's not 4 and 5. That's 3 and 4.
Was that 3 and 4?
There's running back 3 and 4.
Oh, no, he has Akers and Sanders, doesn't he?
Yeah, Akers, Sanders, and then number 3 is Stevenson,
yeah.
4 is
okay,
Rojo.
Sorry, did I say 4 and 5? I meant 3 and 4.
Yeah.
That's ugly, is what it is.
It is. I'm not loving it. Need to update my little draft list here. I think somewhere along the lines, it thinks that I still have Adam Thielen available, and I don't.
Oh, I'm getting killed right now. I had Jacoby
Why?
Myers lined up. I was like, man, really? A binky in the 10th? What did I guy do to deserve such a thing?
I don't know.
I'm just devastated by this.
Adam Thielen is just stuck in the top of my
I am shook
player list
right now. Okay.
Don't be shook.
I don't even know what I'm going to do here.
You were hoping for that binky? Is what you were hoping for?
God, I was too.
So now what are you going to do?
Cry.
I mean, you can't get much worse. Can you?
Yeah.
Oh, you went Homer.
I went Homer because I was so shook about it. Should have had my
guess.
queue lined up. I need to start lining up my queue. This is what
I always do my queue, but not for mock drafts.
I should have my queue lined up because that was a panic pick because I was running out of time.
And you need to watch my video from just the other day.
I was so upset. I panicked and I went with the guy. I needed a tight end in the 10th round. I'm okay with Pat Freiermuth. He's still got some upside. I don't hate it. I don't have any other Steelers. So, at least now I got somebody to root for, and you got to have fun when you're playing fantasy football. So, but no, Jacoby Myers, that's a great value there in the 10th. He was the guy I really wanted. He, probably the last binky on the table here. Maybe there's a couple guys left that could be binkies, but no, locked in, we know history of binkyhood, which is a bummer because I really wanted Jacoby Myers. So if I had, my draft would be going just about as well as I could hope if Travis Etienne had fallen to me at the 308 and I had managed to get Jacoby Myers. So again, there's always room for improvement.
I hear you. All right, so now it's up to me. You like Jacoby Myers. I'm going to go with the actual number 1 in New England this year and take Devontae Parker.
Ugh. Disgusting.
You don't like him.
I don't. I'm just not a fan.
You should be more of a fan.
I don't think I should.
Why not? I think you should.
I mean, here's the thing. Has he ever been a true wide receiver 1?
Yes. He has finished inside the top 10 before.
I'm very confused because I'm looking at my draft board here and it says that I can still draft Devontae Parker.
See, that's where I think my guy's stuck here. If you hit refresh, it refreshes it.
Refresh the whole page?
I think so.
Gosh, if this deletes my draft, I'm going to be so sad.
I'm hoping it does because I'm about to refresh mine too after I take my next pick. As long as my next pick is still there. Any idea who my next pick will be?
Can you give me a position?
If I do that, it's going to be kind of a
obvious.
Dead giveaway. Yeah. Well, maybe not. It's a running back.
Ooh. Is it Gus Bus?
No.
Oh, then I have no idea.
Gus Bus just came off the board.
See, that's what I was talking about. What do you mean?
I
said it was going to be Gus Bus. I'm predicting picks.
I'm going with somebody. I've done a lot of videos lately, Ethan. I don't know if you've checked any of them out or not.
I watch occasionally.
I've done one on elusiveness, explosiveness for running backs. You know what name always pops up in all of these metrics?
Kenny Gainwell?
No, never. He doesn't.
J.D. McKissick?
No, but he was in my queue. People can see him in my queue. Darryl motherfucking Williams.
Darryl Williams? Oh my gosh,
Yes.
Another homer pick.
Dude, you're talking about a guy who was a borderline
Classic.
1,100 total yards last year. And now he's backing up James Conner. He's still going to get some run. He's great in the passing game. And he's my running back 5.
Pathetic.
So hop off D's nuts. All right, I'm going to refresh mine real quick, too. Did that work for you?
Yeah, I think it did. I don't know. I'm not really paying attention to it.
I didn't think you were.
I'm too busy seeing who's going, who's staying.
All right, well, that worked for me. It kind of cleared it up. Probably because we're recording it. That's exactly why.
Oh, lots of pick coming in all at once.
Whew. I love me some David Bell. Do I love me some David Bell in the 11th, not knowing what's going to happen to Deshaun Watson? I don't. But that's just me.
Oh, what do we have here? Ethan in the 11th with a binky on the board? What?
There's no binkies on the board.
There's
there is
a binky on the board.
There is a binky on the board. Yep, he was in my queue and you took him.
Yep, binky on the board, Jake.
Yep.
Always be looking for the binkies, okay? Alan Lazard could be the wide receiver 1 on Aaron Rodgers' team this year.
Very easily.
Very
easily. How come nobody likes Garrett Wilson? I like Garrett Wilson.
I think Garrett Wilson is a good pick. I just worry about rookie wide receivers that have direct competition. And
but
I already
Garrett
took
Wilson
Elijah
versus
Moore.
David Bell right now?
I already took Elijah Moore, so there's no real reason. There goes Garrett Wilson. There's no reason for me to take Garrett Wilson. I'm trying to diversify my team exposure here. Some people don't believe in that. They just take whoever they think is the best player available.
Right.
But I am pro diversifying your teams because I want to score as many touchdowns as possible.
All right, then.
Well, you can't. Here's the thing, though, Jake. If you have Elijah Moore and Garrett Wilson, even if they're good values, where they're going.
I never said you should have taken him. Why are you getting so defensive?
They can't catch touchdowns at the same time. They're on the same team. So you're limiting your upside of your team week to week if you're playing them.
What does that have to do with David Bell going before Garrett Wilson?
I didn't even know we were talking about David Bell.
I said David Bell. You started talking about having Elijah Moore, and I'm like, I don't care about Elijah Moore. I was saying, I don't know if I could go David Bell before Garrett Wilson.
A lot of running backs coming off the board here. What's up with this?
Who the hell are these guys?
What the heck is this all about?
J.D. McKissick, Rashad White, and Damian Pierce. Scraping the bottom of the barrel. Houston.
Hey, PPR, you take what you can get, okay?
Yeah, and PPR, I don't hate Rashad White. Great pass catcher. You know what I mean? Damian Pierce, I think a lot of Houston Texans fans are just like really excited for him, but like he's behind Marlon Mack and Rex Burkhead and Royce Freeman, and the Texans are going to suck and be always trailing and not running the ball. It's just, I'm not a huge fan, personally. But we're getting down to it. There's not a ton of great options left.
No, and there's not very many running backs that I like at all. We're really in trouble with the running backs.
Like, really, Kenneth Gainwell, maybe the last one worth drafting.
If that.
And it's a little bit of a stretch.
Just a little bit of a stretch.
Yeah, I'm like way down here, and I'm not seeing a whole lot worth the crap. Don't mind him. He can go. How about... Yep. Christian Watson, Sky Moore coming off the board. Do you ever go double tight end? Do you like 2 tight ends?
I actually don't mind taking 2 tight ends, but I'm not going to take them this early. I might take another guy if I'm really feeling it.
If you're feeling the tight end?
What'd you say?
If you're really feeling the tight end, then you'll take it?
Yeah, if I'm really feeling up on the tight end, I might go tight end. I'm kind of in the take some shots range now. I don't love really anybody that's left at any position. But I'm gonna go with this guy because I'm chasing binkies.
And you don't know who the binky is there.
I think that Donovan Peoples-Jones, while I don't expect him to be the binky, he's the backup to the binky. And there's at least some maybe potential there for him to be an underrated binky pick.
Okay, well, here's a question for you then, Doc, since you've already made your pick. A name that's still on the board that you're talking about, taking some gambles here. What is your thought about this point of the draft gambling on Jameson Williams? To be a late season,
I would
hopefully
not, personally.
Thunderbolt.
personally, you got a lot going against you. He tore his ACL in January, and he's a rookie. I mean, he could not see the field all year. And so are you going to wait 6 to 10 weeks, possibly more, and be patient enough to have him still on your bench at the end of that? I wouldn't be able to.
Probably not.
Personally.
Probably not. But I love the talent of Jameson Williams.
He's very talented. I just don't think he's going to play this year.
I am so excited. Speaking of the devil, look at that. There he goes. Taylor just going to load up on Alabama players. All right, well, I guess I'm going to go here for right now. Because you said we're looking for binkies. And even though this guy may not be the binky, he is definitely the reserve binky kind of right now in a safety type of sense. Jamison Crowder.
Oh, yeah. He's like, the backup binky.
Yeah, I mean, I know Gabe Davis and Stephon Diggs are going to get the big plays and the big scores, but we're talking about 100 vacated targets from Cole Beasley, and he kind of fills that spot.
Yeah, I don't mind that.
At this point of the draft, the hell? You know what I mean?
I mean, they're all kind of you're just going with whatever you think could possibly potentially hit. These are all players that are pretty interchangeable from a pure fantasy upside point. I mean, it's kind of just, you're kind of hoping something happens to make this guy fantasy relevant, not really expecting them to be crazy fantasy relevant.
All right. Well, not a whole lot here. One more wide receiver in my queue.
I got a lot of wide receiver flyers in my queue right now. I'm basically at the end of my running backs. There's maybe one guy left that maybe could consider. I've already got my quarterback.
Khalil Herbert?
Who?
Khalil Herbert?
No, I'm not a Herbert guy. I think that was all situational.
Either. I mean, I like Khalil Herbert. I don't like him in Chicago, Khalil Herbert, behind like the worst offensive line ever created by man. Kenyon Drake is somewhat interesting. Is that who you were thinking of?
Yeah, I mean, actually, Myles Gaskin was the one I thought was interesting. But
no, he's not interesting. Least interesting man alive.
I mean, that poor guy. We thought he was going to be something, and then they were like, "Yep, nope, he's never going to be anything ever."
Yeah, I went Van Jefferson.
Was there a guy that they didn't bring in that was like a fringe RB3
in Miami?
Yeah.
I mean, they brought in Mostert, they brought in Edmonds, they brought in Sony Michel.
Yeah, none of those are sexy picks.
No, none of them are sexy, but I don't think Myles Gaskin's going to get much. Was my pick sexy? Was Van Jefferson sexy?
I mean, how many wide receivers do you need?
As many as... Remember, I have Hopkins, so that doesn't really count. 3. That would be... I got 6.
Okay, you're up to 6. Yeah, that's a fair amount.
And one of them is 5.
I think that's fair, especially with 3 flexes.
Yeah.
Do we start 5 wide receivers in this league?
No, you only start 2 wide receivers and 3 flexes.
Okay.
Or is it 3 wide receivers? It's 3 wide receivers and 3 flexes.
I'm at 6 wide receivers too. Okay, yeah. I see where you're at with this.
So back off.
Okay, I'm sorry. Jeez.
How about
you don't
Binky?
have to be so rude.
Let's go with potential Binky. There's some Binkies left in here.
I don't think there's any Binkies left.
Dude.
Okay, there's definitely at least one person that I said was a Binky. So I can't say that. There's for sure one left that was for sure the Binky last year.
Really?
There's a historical Binky on the board. That does not mean I'm going to take him. I'm just saying there is a historical precedent for this Binky.
I'm looking for it. I see one. Is it a wide receiver?
It is a wide receiver.
Is it Marvin Jones Jr.?
Yes.
Is it really?
Yeah, he was the Binky last year. And
I agree. That's why I was scrolling through, and as soon as I saw his name, I'm like, oh, it's got to be him.
He had 120 targets last year. He's Binky material.
Yeah. I don't want to take another wide receiver, though, because you'll yell at me.
I mean, I wouldn't yell at you.
You're like, how many wide receivers do you need, Jake?
That doesn't sound like me.
Doesn't sound like anything like I would sound.
What are we at? We got what, 3 picks left?
You have 3. This one and then 2 more rounds.
I'm going to pick up a second tight end here.
You're out there just grabbing tight ends.
You know,
You
I don't
grabbed the
hate
wrong
this.
one, though.
One, because I waited on tight end for so long anyway. 2, there's quite a few teams left that still need tight ends. So I'm going to grab my second guy here so that I don't have to worry about that later. 3,
I have 2 tight ends in my queue right now.
3, I think Noah Fant, he needed a fresh start, and I think that he could be in a position to really explode if he gets used the right way. And Seattle has used their tight ends in the red zone historically in the past.
I can't disagree with that. You know who else uses their tight ends a lot in the red zone? The New England Patriots and Hunter Henry.
That's true.
And that's who is left in my queue if it makes it all the way back to me.
Is he the only guy left in your queue?
Right now, he's the only name in my queue.
I got so many names in my queue right now.
You are totally abusing your queue right now. I'm too busy trying
I
to
got
talk.
more names than I could even possibly hope to draft. Mostly so I don't have to scroll down the thing to find more names.
Okay, what about this with Buddy and James Dennison getting their second quarterback? What
I
do you feel
hate
about
that.
2 QBs?
I will always hate it.
I don't like
One
it either.
QB league. There's no reason.
Dude, there's
You're just
so many
getting
more
greedy
options.
at this point. Why would you be like that?
I mean, you still got the likes of Cousins, Tua, Tanny, Matt Ryan, Mac Jones, Jameis Williams. We got Carson Wentz-ish, maybe.
Carson Wentz-ish.
I mean, they just paid Terry McLaurin, so we know he's going to be there with Jahan Dotson. I like Kirk Cousins a lot this year. I'm not going to take him, but I like him a lot.
Well, if you guys are just going to keep letting binkies fall.
Who's the binky? Are you going to take Marvin Jones?
Here's the thing. He's the least sexy binky on the planet. He's a dollar bin binky.
And here you are criticizing my wide receivers, and you're about to have more than me.
But it's a PPR league.
Yep.
And I don't see where else they're going to go. So I'm just going to keep snagging discount binkies.
I thought we were told to avoid the discount store binkies.
Well, here's the thing.
Oh, that was thrift shop binkies. That's what that was.
You can't grab a thrift shop binky, Jig. Come on. Who wants a thrift shop binky? Am I right?
You think Hunter Henry makes it back to me, or should I start looking somewhere else?
I'd start looking somewhere else because I don't know. Does anyone else? They've already got tight ends.
Everybody has one.
For TJ. TJ could get you, couldn't he? No, he's got Dawson Knox. Yeah, you should be all right. Does Taylor have one? Yeah, he's got Hawkinson. You'll be good.
Yeah.
I don't think most people are going to go double tight ends.
I mean, you went double tight end.
I went double tight end because I waited on tight end, not because I wanted to.
Oh, Hayden Hurst is gone there. Perfect. He is hanging on for dear life for me. How about this name? What do you think late in the draft's like last round pick of Hassan Haskins? Last round.
The only reason I would think of Hassan Haskins is if I was handcuffing Derrick Henry.
What if I want to just be a prick and keep him from the Derrick Henry owner?
I mean, I'm not opposed to handcuffing other people's running backs, but I think at that point you're just kind of like, you're not really protecting yourself. You're just kind of taking a pick for the sake of having it.
Yeah. I took Hunter Henry.
Yeah, that's great value there.
I mean, Ethan, we got to admit it. My team is damn good.
I mean, your team's okay.
I mean, your team it's all right.
I mean,
if you have some binkies that show up this year, you can
Here's the thing. I'm after targets, okay? And if Christian McCaffrey is healthy and DeAndre Swift is healthy and Lamar Jackson is healthy, that right there that's like 40 points 60 points maybe on the ground with just those three. So then I'm just hoping that I can get 10 plus targets from 3 or 4 wide receivers each week.
Yeah.
I mean,
how about this question? We talked at the very start about Alvin Kamara and the potential possible suspension, right?
Yeah.
Who's the backup after him?
I mean, Mark Ingram. But let me say something, Jake, because I knew this conversation would come up at some point. Here's the reason why I don't think that is a solid pick.
In the last round of your draft.
In the last round of your draft.
Talk fast. I'm on the clock.
You have to assume that all of your best running backs are going to be healthy for the first 6 weeks, minimum. So the likelihood that you actually start Mark Ingram is so incredibly low for the window that you're most likely going to have with him. That's all I'll say.
Okay. I guess I kind of agree with that. Being that it's PPR, I'm going right here.
See, that is what I was hoping you would do, because it's great to juxtapose. So here's the thing.
Well,
you take Mark Ingram.
Doctor words.
I should have just told you to take Mark Ingram because I wanted Kenyon Drake. If you take Mark Ingram there, you got a 6-week window, most likely, maybe 8, but probably 6 or 4, where you can use him. But all your other running backs are most likely healthy during that window. If you take Kenyon Drake and something happens to Josh Jacobs in the first 4 weeks, you have an RB1 for the rest of the year.
Yep.
That's why that's a better pick. I just want people to understand that you have to
Josh McDaniels
the most
offense,
likely thing to happen is.
Yep. And a Josh McDaniels offense, an offense that coming from New England has really utilized pass catching running backs.
Yeah.
We could see a lot of Kenyon Drake.
Yeah. Still. I mean, so he has standalone value from week 1 on.
Yep.
And he has backup, top tier RB2 potential if something were to happen to his starter. And that is way more valuable than a guy that's going to maybe be a starter, but only for like 4 to 6 weeks, assuming he stays healthy and is actually the starter.
Yep. Agreed. All right. Last round. Couple picks left. Had Njoku, Logan Thomas, Jalen Tolbert. Kind of wondering what you're going to do. Are you going to go with Mark Ingram?
It doesn't make a ton of sense for me to tell you why you shouldn't go with Mark Ingram and then turn around and take him.
I know, but you need another running back.
Do I?
I think you do.
You think I'm going running back here?
No, I don't think you are.
But you think I need one?
I mean, I think you needed one a couple rounds ago, but you've ignored it since the 8th.
There's no reason.
I think you should have taken Naheem Hines in the 9th or 10th.
I disagree.
Why? What are you doing? You're taking another quarterback, aren't you? Don't you dare do it.
Do you think I was going quarterback?
No, I didn't think so. Not after your speech before about how much you hated it.
You think I was going to actually go turn around and take Mark Ingram?
I kind of thought so. Yeah.
Just talk you out of him. No, I had, so I'll just say who else I had on my, I'm going with Chris Evans here because I think he might have a pass catching role and maybe potentially. And I do think he's the backup for Joe Mixon to own. So, and I like the offense as a whole. I had Terrence Marshall, Laviska Shenault, George Pickens, Chuba Hubbard, and Austin Hooper, who I left in there, even though I took Noah Fant in the 13th. So
right.
Those were kind of the last guys that I had that I was really looking forward to. I am a little surprised. Did OBJ go undrafted?
I believe so.
I mean, if you're taking Justin Ross, you need to be taking OBJ instead. Sorry, Keebler Elf.
No, I'm not sorry. It's what he should have done.
That's what he should have done.
Better.
If you're going to take a super high risk wide receiver.
Here's another question. You know who else went undrafted? God, don't call me a homer. Like AJ Green. I get it.
AJ Green's 100 years old.
Okay, but they don't have D-Hop for 6 weeks.
He's terrible.
I would rather have AJ Green than Justin Ross. Even though I love Justin Ross.
I mean, absolutely more than Justin Ross. But even like KJ Osborne, I think you could have made a case for.
I agree with that one too.
Like Sterling Shepard, no, we don't draft people that have torn their Achilles. That's a terrible idea. I mean, I'm not seeing Tim. Some people, would say maybe Tim Patrick. I'm not seeing a ton of guys. Maybe Paris Campbell. If you're going to take, again, why would you take Justin Ross when you could take OBJ or Paris Campbell?
Right.
That to me, those are the guys that I want to swing for the fences for, especially OBJ. I mean, in the last round, as your wide receiver, what, 7, 8
ish? Yeah.
Like, and he doesn't have, I mean, he's got Keenan Allen, Brandon Cooks, Chris Godwin, who's probably not going to start the year, Jerry Jeudy, Devontae Smith. I mean, he's not really stacked at wide receiver. So I would have probably swung for the fences with OBJ. Hope he comes back healthy and can show what he showed at the end of last year before he got hurt again.
Right. Well, I moved my camera around so you guys can see the full draft board here with the exception of the last round, but that's okay. So here we got all the teams that took part in this mock draft. Thank you to everybody who took the time to do this. Leave a comment down below. Which team do you like the most and why is it my team? Why is my team the best team on here? Maybe we want to do a little competition. So do Team Jake versus Team Doc.
Here's the thing.
Down below in the comment section.
In the comments, let me know about how much better my team is than Jake's. And we'll just put this to rest because, we actually, we care about everybody else's teams, but let's be honest, Jake, we want to know who won between me and you.
That's all that really matters.
I mean, I just got to
finish better than you do.
We can go through it, Jake, position by position. Okay.
Well, you better hurry. This video is already over an hour.
I don't care about that. I have better running backs.
No, you do not.
I have better wide receivers. You got me at tight end, I'll admit, for a price. I have a better quarterback.
Did you just say you have better wide receivers?
I absolutely have better wide receivers.
You do not.
Absolutely.
You do not.
I've got 3 wide receiver ones and 4 backup binkies. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I'll take my wide receivers any day.
No. Wrong.
Wrong.
Let us know in the comments down below.
So I have better overall running backs than you, better overall wide receivers, a better tight end. Quarterback's pretty similar. Yeah, I got you. Beat. It's not even close.
Yeah, no.
All right. Yeah. Leave those comments down below. Let us know Team Jake, Team Doc had fun doing this. We're going to be doing these every single week, probably for the remainder of the offseason. So if you're interested, get your free account signed up on fantrax.com/headliners, link down below in the description. And you never know, you may just see yourself here in a mock with us this offseason. Doc, I appreciate you taking the time to hang out with us and actually doing a live mock draft with us. Kind of gave me some show us your team vibes. And I know a lot of people are looking forward to show us your teams.
I'm looking forward to show us your teams.
So am I. I'm looking forward to just like trolling some people on their handwriting this year.
If you're drafting early, we might have to do like a best ball show us your teams.
Okay.
Edition, off season.
For sure.
Preseason, show us your teams.
I'm all for it.
If
you like that idea, hit the like button down below. Leave a comment down below. Let us know. But for now, we're going to hop out here because this video is super long. Hopefully you enjoyed the mock draft. But for myself and the Doc, we'll talk to you later.